Hey friend, welcome back to my channel. Today we are getting into that girl hairstyle, the OG slick back bun. This is definitely my go-to whenever I need to look like I have my life together, even when I really don't.
Am I really that much? And breaking these niggas down like a camera. You don't really know you.
Whether you're running errands, headed out on a little date, or you're just trying to serve face at brunch, this bun will have you looking like money, okay? It's giving effortless, it's giving clean, rich auntie vibes, and I'm going to show you step by step how to get that perfect snatched from beginning to end. No lumps, no bumps, no crusty edges, and no white flakes. If you're ready to look like you just stepped out of your soft girl era, let's get into it. Okay, girl, before we start, let's talk products because the products will make or break your bun, okay? So what you're going to need is a smoothing brush. Honestly, the harder the bristles, the better. If it's not low-key scratching your scalp, it's not the one for you. You're also going to need a fine-tooth comb. That will be for a nice, crisp, clean part. Your favorite gel or edge control. I'm using the Eco Styler. Personally, I like the green one. It just seems to work for me, and I feel like that's how I get my slickest buns. I always use a little bit of hair oil. It adds a glossy finish. Also, my hair is wet when I'm doing this, so I like to put in leave-in conditioner, and I use a little bit of gel. You're also going to want to make sure that you need your hair ties, your scrunchies, whatever you're going to use to tie it back. Bobby pins if you need it. I personally don't like or really use bobby pins, but that's just me. And optional, you can add hairspray if you want that extra tight finish. When I do it, I just use extra gel. So whatever works for you, babes. And also you need an untangling brush, and this is what I'm using, the one in this video. I actually got this one from TikTok shop, but y'all, I've been doing my hair like this for so many years. I have too many options. I have a wide tooth comb, so you can use that as well. Okay, so boom, let's get into the part because the part will basically tell the whole story for your bun. So middle part, you're giving clean girl era, you know, soft girl era. Side part, you might be a little toxic, but in the best way possible. No part, you must be ready to fight. Like you going to the gym, you just mean business. It's giving business. So I'm going with the middle part today just because she's timeless. And what you're going to do is start off with taking your fine tooth comb. If your part is not very straight on the first try, please don't panic. Just keep going, okay? You don't got to get ruler. So don't panic. But I'm going to start off with parting it down the middle of my head to get that initial part. That one doesn't have to be perfect because we are going to go back and we are going to clean it up later. Then I'm going to go down the sides. I usually line it up with my ear on both sides, and then you're going to tie it all up in the front away from your face. I like to then separate my hair into those sections so that it can be as flat as possible. And I take the back half of my hair, put some gel in between, and I'm going to brush slick for my life. If your hair is a little bit thicker and not trained for a bun, you can get a super sharp look if you put a little bit of gel on the comb and kind of like slick it down that way, so that will help get your part straight too. So the slicking it down part is where the magic happens. This is my favorite part. It's just so aesthetically pleasing and rewarding to watch it all come together. But you want to start with a small amount of gel at your very roots. You don't want to slap and layer too much on there. You want to layer it in sections kind of thing, because if you just slap it on there, it's going to end up a bumpy mess. So you're going to want to brush each section as you go, and you can really tug on the hair a little bit so that it kind of smooths out and stays in place. We're trying to get it laid, fried, dyed, or laid to the side. If your arms aren't low-key burning and tired by the end of this step, then you're not brushing enough for me, baby. But once you have everything slicked to your liking, you're going to pull everything to the back. And you're going to gather it and put it into a ponytail at the nape of your neck. You can raise it a little bit higher. It just depends on where you like to have your bun sit once you're done. But yeah, I kind of put mine a little bit to the lower end. And I'm going to need you to pull that ponytail tight, like need your whole face snatched. It needs to give facelift. If you do have thicker hair, you can double up on the hair ties, which I do sometimes as well. I'm telling you, your bun is not going to move all day. Now that we got the back done, we're going to move along to the front, the most important part. Well, one of the most important parts, because honestly, there's so many layers to having the perfect bun. Each part is important in its own way. So we're going to go back to our part. I already have it defined a little bit, so Now we just have to go back and clean it up and make it as crisp as possible. This usually takes me a few tries, and again, don't be ashamed or feel down about yourself if you can't get it right away. It does take practice and it does take time. I like to use my hands to separate and press it down because that's how you can really see those extra little hairs in the middle that didn't quite make the cut or on the wrong side, and you can just again go in and clean it up. Make sure it's right in the center of your head. Sometimes I like to put the leave-in conditioner all over my head when it's all out and it's freshly wet. This time I decided to just put it on each section so that all the product really gets in there, because I've had my hair straight for the last month or so. Actually, probably 2 months, and I haven't worn it curly in a while, so I'm just giving it a little bit of extra love and TLC. You don't really have to do this when you're just redoing your buns, but again, it's all about preference. There's no right or wrong way. It just really depends on your hair. Like, you need to know your hair, pay attention to it, and just go with the flow. But these techniques are very, very helpful. They're very, very effective. I promise you. I would not steer y'all wrong. Again, just going through on my detangling brush, making sure that it's very straight. Do not say anything about my hair being heat damaged, okay? I know, and I don't care. I'm gonna still be straightening my hair, and I'm gonna still be slicking it back. The next step I'm going in is with my gel. So I use like a holding gel and then the Eco Styler gel, which is more like the actual slick and edge control type vibe. So it is okay to use both. It just, again, depends on your hair. And then I like to end it off with a little bit of oil. I don't want it to be too oily, because I find that if you put too much oil, then the gel doesn't really stick and lay your hair down. So honestly, I just put a little bit to hydrate my hair to make sure that it's not super, super dry. And then yeah, just don't use too much, because I have seen that it does kind of mess up my bun and it doesn't get it as slick. Then you're just going to slowly start brushing it into the direction that you want. If you can see, I haven't put any actual Eco Styler, so I just like to kind of shape how I want my hair to lay first. And you see how this is how slick it's getting with no gel, like no slick back gel yet, and it's already pretty slick. Like, I could get away with this if I was just running errands, but we're not running errands, so I need to put my gel on there. So then I follow it up with my Eco Styler. I like to just put it on the perimeter and in my part, and then I will go back and brush it through and just keep layering it and layering it and layering it, honestly. And then you can see I'm just following it up, like I said, and brushing that product through, getting it as slick as possible. Like, do you see that? Like, each piece of hair is exactly where it needs to be and where it's supposed to be. It's giving egghead, and that's what we need. I need my buns to give egghead. Also, after I brush it a little bit, I like to always go in with my hands and slick it down, because I feel like it helps lay it flat as possible. And then I will go in and clean up my part a little bit with my fine tooth comb as well, if I see that the part isn't exactly where I want it. It's not too late, so if you need to make a change, now's your time to do so. I think the edges is my favorite part. I do like to pull some out and kind of get the mold there before I put on my second scrunchie, just so I'm not having to pull and tug on my hair. And then I'll kind of follow it up and brush back those hairs that I want to make sure are going to go into my scrunchie. When you're following up with your hands, you can also get some Eco Styler and just lay it and rub it through your hands, and then flatten it on. Just rub it through, because again, we're getting it as flat as possible, and you have to use all of your materials. Honestly, everything is pretty repetitive and layering. It's just doing a little bit of that, then doing a little bit of this, and then rinse and repeat. And that's why I said, if your arms are not burning and tired, like you just did arm day at the gym, I don't know what to tell you, and you cannot be doing your buns right, because at this point, I am exhausted. Once you have your hair as slick as it's going to be, then you can go ahead and put that second scrunchie on. So now at this point you have 2 scrunchies, and it's just layering. Look how like full and healthy this like ponytail already looks. I just know this bun is about to eat. Everything is snatched, not a lump or a bump in sight. And then again, just smoothing it out with my fingers, okay? I always kind of like to go back over each little step before I move on to the next step, just to make sure everything is still in place, because once you kind of loop that bun in, you do not want to realize that there's something not right and have to take it out and start all over. Trust me, I've been there, done that. So I'm kind of just slicking down my edges again, making sure that they are exactly how I want them. And then once I have my bun, I can go in and put on that finishing touch and add some more gel. At this point, now that my base is done, I also like to take some eco styler and put it directly on the toothbrush and then follow it up going back on my bun. That way each little piece gets slicked back and goes in the right spot, and then I'm finishing up the other side of my edges. I like my edges to be a little bit loose, like not too stiff and structured, and then I brush the extra into the rest of my ponytail, and you can kind of see the swooping motion, and then I'll take my finger, kind of place it at the top of the edge, and then brush it in a swooping away from my face, like back towards my ear. I do also put a little bit of eco styler on my finger and kind of just slick down the places that I swoop my edges, just again pressing that product into the way that I want my hair to lay so that everything will come out smooth and shiny and perfection. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Tell a lot by a girl by how she wraps her bun. So this part, you're going to wrap the ponytail. I like to twist mine up a little bit, like twist as you wrap. You're going to wrap it around the base and then kind of tuck it underneath. Again, you can use bobby pins. I personally like to use another hair tie, and then I just wrap that tightly around the bun. I don't want any pieces sticking out. You don't either. So if you need to use a bobby pin, you can use that to make sure that they're stuck in. If your hair is a little bit uneven, you might need it. But if not, you can just take your finger and make sure that it's wrapped in. You want your bun to be effortless, but we both know that it wasn't effortless to get here, okay? It was hard work and dedication. And just like that, you are done. You're giving a rich girl, soft girl aesthetic. I love this hairstyle. It works for lazy days, but it also works for boss girl days. If you want to, go back in with your eco styler and your toothbrush just to make sure you can. And you can also get a silk scarf and tie down your edges or the bun to make sure that it stays in place if you have to do your makeup or finish getting ready. So you can definitely add those finishing touches. But yeah, thank you, my baby, so much. If you made it this far, which I know you did, like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching. Bye. Now we are on to the bun part. This part is a part that separates the girls from the women.